At first glance, The Deer Hunter appears to be a traditional war story about American soldiers fighting in Vietnam. The film opens not on the battlefield but in a small Pennsylvania steel town, where life revolves around hard work, friendship, and familiar routines. The men spend long days together at the steel mill, unwind in neighborhood bars, and escape into the mountains on hunting trips. Their bond feels unbreakable, rooted in shared experiences and a deep sense of brotherhood. It is a world defined by loyalty, routine, and the quiet confidence that life will continue as it always has. But as the story unfolds, the film reveals a far more devastating truth. War does not simply kill men on the battlefield. Sometimes it destroys them long before their bodies ever die. The story follows three friends, Michael, Nick, and Steven, portrayed by Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken, and John Savage. When they leave their hometown to serve in Vietnam, they carry with them the belief that they will eventually return to the lives they left behind. Yet the war they encounter is chaotic, brutal, and psychologically overwhelming. It strips away the illusions they once held about courage, heroism, and control. One of the film's most disturbing elements is the infamous Russian roulette scenes. These moments are not merely shocking acts of violence. They serve as a powerful symbol for the randomness and cruelty of war itself. Survival becomes less about bravery or skill and more about chance. Each pull of the trigger represents the terrifying uncertainty soldiers face, where life and death are separated by the smallest and most unpredictable margins. When Michael eventually returns home, he does so physically alive but emotionally transformed. The confident and grounded man who once walked through his steel town now carries the invisible scars of everything he has witnessed. Activities that once brought him peace, like hunting in the mountains, are no longer the same. The rifle in his hands, once a symbol of control and tradition, now reminds him of the chaos and violence he cannot forget. Steven also survives the war, but his injuries leave him permanently dependent on others. His future, once full of possibility, has been dramatically altered by forces beyond his control. Nick's fate, however, is the most tragic of all. Trapped in Saigon and consumed by trauma, he becomes entangled in a dangerous underground world built around Russian roulette gambling. Though his body remains alive, his sense of identity slowly disappears. The friend Michael once knew has been replaced by someone who seems unable to return to the life he left behind. This is the film's most haunting revelation. War does not always end when soldiers leave the battlefield. Sometimes it follows them for the rest of their lives. By the time the film reaches its heartbreaking conclusion, The Deer Hunter forces viewers to confront a painful reality about combat and survival. The men who return home are not always the same men who left. And sometimes, even when a soldier's body makes it back, the person they once were never does.